What up, everybody? Welcome back to another Power Hour here with your boy. Today we got a special guest named Bubba. You already know who that is. If you don't, you're going to find out today. So stick around. Make sure you like and subscribe, share, so everybody can come join us, hang out, and talk geckos. All right. See you back in 1 minute.
Welcome in, everybody. How we doing today? I knew he was going to do something like that. She blew it. She blew. I knew he was going to do that. How's it going, guys?
Good. Excited to be here. Very Jurassic.
Riys, I know you were pushing the clock there. What's going on, man? You got traffic or what?
What you mean? No, dude. I was just coasting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Lex isn't being paid.
Bubba, we got Lex in the background. We got to make sure we say Bubba and Lex are here. How you doing, Lex?
Good. I'm only here for a second because then I gotta head out.
Hit him with it. Flex and Lexi.
There you go. That's he got me, dude. I was literally here like, okay, his mic went out right when I bring us on screen. and then Lex laughed and I was like, I was good. Obviously I see let's see, Lexi's in the comments, but we got Bayside in the comments already. And we all know why Bayside's here. So it's story time.
He said 3 Guinness deep.
Before we get into Bubba, we got to talk about like a master prank that Brett and I pulled on Riys today. And I'm talking like, I don't know if you've ever gotten into any sort of a conversation with Riys, but he doesn't get overly excited or emotional about it. And today was a very different thing. I'm dying. Like, I'm trying hard not to. Hello, Canada. So, Steven's here. Hey, Steven. All right. So last night,
this was diabolical.
we reach out to a lot of different people trying to get them on the show and see who's willing and who's shy and whatnot. And we got a no from Ron. Well, I should say Riys on his Instagram got a message that said basically no from Ron Tremper. And I had messaged him too, and he already told me he would think about it, but then he told Riys no. And I don't know that he knows we're on the same show or whatever. None of that matters. Here's what matters. Riys posted that in a group chat with Brett and I. And as soon as I saw it, I went and I started sifting through Instagram and I found him telling me he would think about it. And I like sent a message somewhere else that said, oh, Joe, you're so wonderful type stuff. And I'll do the show and whatnot. And then I like cropped all that, put it in a message where it looked legit. And then I shared that in the group chat in less than 5 minutes, right? And I'm like, that's
like 3 minutes, bro. It was like 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's weird that he said go back to work. I text Brett. I was like, hey, Brett, you got to be in on this. And he's like, I'm in. So he started texting the chat as soon as I posted it. It was like, hey, I don't know why you got to know. Look at this. I got a yes. Ron just said yes. And so I don't know how it happened, but we were kind of messing with Riys a little bit last night. Riys was real excited that Ron Tremper was coming on the podcast. And then out of nowhere, I just forgot. And Brett didn't say nothing. So we went to bed. And Riys started to carry on a conversation with Ron Tremper. Sorry,
pretty much. He just told me no. So I said, okay, thanks. I appreciate it. Getting back to me, blah, blah, blah. And literally this all happened within the same 2 minutes. Then Joe said what he said. So I was like, oh, hey, actually, I'm on the same show with Joe, man. So I'll see you, I'll see you soon. then this morning I get a text from him or a message, and he's like, I don't recall agreeing to any podcast. And I was like, wait, what? So I was like, hey Joe, are you sure you booked him? He's like, yeah. I was like, he's like, now he just canceled on me. I was like, wait, what? He was like, thanks a lot. You messed it up. And I was like, bro. So I call him because I'm like, nah, this can't be real. And he's laughing. I was like, did you Photoshop that message, bro? He's like, yeah. And I lost it. I was like, you did not just Photoshop me like that, bro. I was like, now Ron Tremper probably thinks I'm a DTD, and like, what is wrong with this guy? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god. So yeah, he made me look really stupid to Ron. So appreciate that.
Yeah, Ron's messaging him like, I never agreed to go on your show,
Yeah,
bro. And
yeah,
Reese starts screaming at me, why would you do that? I was talking to Ron. And anyway,
yeah. So
if
it
you're
made me
gonna
look like
pull
a fool.
pranks on your friends in the Leo community, you have to involve Ron Tremper. And
Yeah,
so
now
if you
you're not
don't,
allowed to breed any leopard geckos anymore. You're
I
done.
know, right? Yeah,
He
we got
needs
to
to
take
get
like
away
a
from
year
the
off.
internet, bro. He needs somebody needs to take his phone away.
Yeah, probably that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Bubba,
Right.
Right, let me-
so you're here. I guess we'll talk about you, huh? What do you think? Micah says, got him.
Of that,
Bro.
I think that
Yeah.
bet on them though. That's crazy.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it was good. It
Whole
was
time
good.
Rice is just upset too.
Yeah, no, that was a good one. To imagine having Ron messaging you saying, "Hey, man, I said no." You know what I mean? Like, leave me alone. Oh man, that
Yeah,
was the
thanks.
best.
Thanks for ruining that for me.
Yeah, what's his
Appreciate
name? Reese three-way, Brett and I this morning, and I literally like woke up to this, and I'm half asleep, but I can't stop laughing, and it was just a good moment. But um, yeah, yeah. So
Definitely didn't cry, but whatever, dude.
I did not. I know there was some tears, bro. I was
So
dying.
do you have terrible friends like that, Bubba? Or what?
Yeah, no, I killed them all.
Oh
Nice.
no.
Nice.
Oh no.
Put them in the
Reese.
freezer.
Yeah, no. Now I got good ones. The ones that like make me necklaces and heal me now. So
Nice. So
better
I need to
ones.
switch my circle up. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
y'all need sleeves.
Yep. There you go. There you go. So, Bubba, we agreed to sort of wing it. I can't function like that, man. I got to have some topics. One of the biggest ones that I want to go over with you, and I don't have questions written down ahead of time. You're welcome. But I want to talk about the clown project, man. I want to talk about clowns in general. I remember spending a couple hours on the phone with you just a little while back, and it's like you kept talking and talking about, your clowns and when they kind of got all started, all the excitement. And I don't even remember speaking during that conversation because I was just busy listening. So
Shocker.
there's got to be a backstory to all that we could share with everybody. Let's talk about popularizing clowns. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I feel like that's like because I don't like it. So it's like I'm like, damn it, why did we do that at the same time? Because at the same time, like I'm not the biggest fan of like naming things or
Okay.
marketing in a sense where like you're taken away from it just being a leopard gecko and you're like, this thing's awesome because it's a freaking reptile, you know? So when
Yeah.
I was like, all this clown stuff, all the hype and stuff, originally it was just like that G Project Clown from Matt. And like, I remember being in high school and when Matt was getting out of the hobby, he did like all those auctions for everything and like everything was like flying off. I didn't get anything at that point. Never actually got anything from Matt directly. And then right when I met Lex, I didn't really have any like leopard geckos or really anything like at the time too, because I was like, I'm just trying to make it by like just working and affording a place in freaking California. I
Yeah.
think our 2-bed, 2-bath was like apartment was like 2,100, and it was like that was
Jeez.
before utilities and everything. And I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Wow.
And at that time too, I was still dealing with like all the hard stuff where they didn't know what was going on. And I was in aerospace, and this was like the most physical part of aerospace that I was in, where I was having to lift like 100 to 200 pounds like repetitively and take coils of wire and put them into a machine that straightens them out and cuts them into straight bars. And dude, it's just, that was taxing on my body. And Lex was like, bro, you're not having like fun. Like, what makes you happy? And I was like, animals. And so,
Work's not fun, dude. Work's
yeah,
not
I was
supposed to be fun.
like, let me see what I can do. Cause like, I don't want to just like drop a paycheck and not have anything to do. And then coincidentally, like the machine broke at work, shot a piece of metal like into my leg. And then they were like,
No way.
oh yeah.
What?
And they were like, no, that's like your last straw. Cause I was missing days from being like not able to like
Work?
go to work or like, yeah, have like low energy. My heart was dropping to like 35 beats per minute. And I was like having to run to the bathroom to like almost faint. And then they were like, you're using the bathroom too much. And you only had like 15 points that you could get before like they terminate you. Yeah, it's even when COVID hit, they made us still come to work when everybody else was going off. So it's just, that's how aerospace is. You can't miss, or like you're second to like all the production and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And so, yeah. And when I was getting back into animals, Lex was like, all right, just do something that makes you happy, and started working at PetSmart. That made me like an assistant manager that was paying more than the aerospace job did. And I was like, what the hell? So that worked out, allowed me to start getting back into animals. And I had credit with my old friends, the Kinters. So Darling Geckos, that's now like Medusa's Cradle, but then Tony
remember
and
that one.
Angela split.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Angela Mack. Yeah.
some drama. Yeah. The creators or coiners of like the panda stuff and F23s, you know, like crazy stuff. So I was like, sure, like I'll take some of those animals. Like I had like $900 or probably even more than that in credit with them. And just got like some 4 like random or 5 random geckos. And then I was posting more content about it, created the Instagram again, and was like, all right, let's run it. Cause a few years prior, I was also like breeding shrimp and working in like the aquatics trade.
Oh, bubblegum
And
shrimp.
yeah, yeah.
I was.
We got fried shrimp, coconut shrimp, lime shrimp. Yeah, all of them.
Fried shrimp.
Yeah, and so I already had Bubba's Living Emporium. That's why there's like a little shrimpy right here too. Is like I used to supply fish stores and have like there's like local community like Scape where they aquascape stuff, and I would have like workshops and stuff like that. So that was cool, but like I was like, let me get back into the reptiles where I can hold them. And then leopard geckos, that's the first reptile I ever had. And one of my buddies, Enzo, was like trying to always hype us up about like this clown stuff. And I was like, those are really pretty animals, but like I know the origins, and like to me it was just like a cross of animals, and I didn't have any like projects that were going to line up with it, and I didn't really know what I was going to do at the time. And then it boiled down to Enzo actually getting out of leopard geckos and seeing him go through like all his YouTube stuff, how passionate he was. Like we hit it off like right away, and I was always super supportive of him like doing whatever he did, because he went about it in a really good way in my mind.
Yeah.
And so he reached out to me and was like, hey, I want to like send you a box of animals. And I was like, well, like I want to pay for some too if like you're going to get rid of some. So I ended up buying like what would be hella orange. I bought Mr. Stripe that went to like Hard Rock Leopard Geckos. And then I bought like another female that I don't think I held on to, because I was like, I don't really want to have like all this clown stuff that I'm putting together. And then even that Mr. Stripe that I had, I gave to Wally because I had another mail from him. So I had 3 mails from that original box. And in this box, like he basically sent me a letter, sent me like free geckos. And he was like, this is like some of my best geckos. And Jude is like my favorite animal. And Pepper is like my favorite female. And I want you to have those on top of everything. And I feel like you would be able to do something with these animals and like working and our like mindset. I have a video like reading the letter and stuff if you want to like watch me cry a little bit and stuff.
Sure.
But
Okay.
yeah, that was like hard, but also like I took it like a real big responsibility, and obviously that's where leopard geckos like went crazy again for me because
Yeah.
I love leopard geckos. My first leopard gecko I got when I was like 6 years old and had that animal till I was like for 14 years, and then started breeding in like 2012 and was just
Wow.
like making like impromptu like ice chest boxes for an incubator, and like there was not any good information out like available that was to the extent that we have now. Like there was good information, but you had to dig for it. You had to
Yeah.
talk to people.
Oh,
You
yeah.
had to like call up your homies. And even that like clown stuff, it was like not a lot of people had it. Matt was out of the picture. He was gone from the hobby for a few years at the time. And I know there was a few people breeding it, but nobody was really talking about it. Nobody was like, "Oh, this clown stuff is freaking bonkers. It's amazing," or "This is what
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
doing with it." It was always just like kind of washed up, older looking animals because clowns they don't age the best. It's like any
That's
like
true.
emerine, like you want
Yeah.
to have an animal, in my opinion, that lasts like at least 3 to 5 years. Like
Yep.
I don't
At
like
least. Yeah.
how they change. Like, what the hell? Like, even ball
Mhm.
pythons, you see it too, where they're like,
Yeah.
that's an insane looking baby. And then you see the adult and you're like, what the heck? So
Yeah.
it's always going to be work. But like at the same time, like it was going to be work to understand what clown was in my mind because it's a
Yeah.
cross of so many different lines. Matt talks about it himself, crossing it to all three strains of albino. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
tracking back then, you know, like even seeing some of the old videos, I know that he would keep animals like together, like in like three females and then like throw in a male. And
Yeah.
there's a
Breeding
lot of
group.
animals and anybody can mix stuff up too. So like on my diligence, I wanted to test that stuff out like
Mhm.
a lot as much as I could, understand what phenotypes I was going to throw, what heads that were potentially there, and just understand what I was working with before I was like, let me sell these animals to the public and hype it up. It kind of got hyped up before we even intended to do anything with it, just because I think we were so excited about the project. You had like
Yeah.
NV Geckos, Nick Voorhees, he got some animals from Enzo. Um, SB Geckos, Sam from Nevada, and then you had like Josh. He's not really breeding anymore. I forget his username. Um, Alyssa with Cali Reptiles. She got some of that stuff, and there was like a few other people too. And George from JVR Reptiles. Like
JVR.
a few people got them. Yeah, Sam from Golden Stripe too, and
I like Sam.
like yeah,
I like
some people
Nick too,
kept
to
it.
be honest. I do.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, 100%. Like all these people, we were all like talking together, and we were like, "Hey, like, how's this going for you?" Or like, "How's it growing out?" And like, "Are you
Nice.
seeing these color changes like going on, and like the pattern like disappearing and coming back, and like all this stuff?" And we wanted to kind of keep it not like closed off, like not gatekeeping in a sense, but we wanted to do a responsibility to Enzo, especially the people that got animals directly from Enzo,
Mhm.
Yeah.
to have something worthwhile to eventually, if he ever came back, give him something in return that was much greater than what he gave us. Not
Yeah.
in like
Okay.
any weird kind of sense, but like if I'm going to be a part of something, I only want to be a part of it if it's going to better it and not take away from that's people, relationships, animals, kind of everything that I try to apply that to, you know, life in general.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And if you ever watched any of Enzo's old videos too, because there's a lot of YouTube stuff out there you can learn from. He had quite a few. One or two of them were long, and then a couple of them were short. And I remember they were packed full of information, and it was just a few videos. But I remember thinking he just seems like a genuinely good dude. Like he doesn't seem like he had like, I don't know. There was nothing in there that seemed out of ordinary. So I've
Yeah.
never
It
met
didn't
him or
seem like a
spoken to
wild
him.
card. Yeah.
He was a yeah, right. He's not going to play like a really mean spirited prank on you.
Yeah, he
directly to
had
wrong
6
temple.
toes on his left foot,
So
but that was like the worst he did.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that's weird, Enzo. But anyway,
I
yeah,
gotta check
no, he
those
seemed like a
videos
really
out.
good guy. But
Yeah, I've never seen those. I
Yeah.
gotta check those out.
Yeah, those videos are insightful too because even when he sent us those, he gave us like a heads up because
yeah,
clowns, especially when Matt's out of the picture, not producing any more, you only have certain lines. And when
Mhm.
those certain lines get bred back to another to like keep purity, you're going to run into issues. So like Enzo had some like failures to thrive, geckos
okay,
that weren't like doing so well and like had structural integrity issues and short tails, genetic like structure was kind of like messed up. So that's a lot of that test work too, you know? So
yeah,
going through that and being diligent, I only chose Hella Orange to focus on. I did like one pairing one season with Jude, but that was it. And
okay,
Jude was going to be like that male that Enzo had. And unfortunately, Jude passed away from something similar where it was just like healthy one day, the next day, like no good.
Gone.
yeah,
Yeah. And like that kicked my butt so much, especially because Enzo like trusted me with these animals too. And
Yeah.
at the time too, like that's when I was like getting more animals, more species. At the highest point, it was a little over like 20 different species and a Bronya included. So I started running my own fecals and teaching myself, like brushing up on those skills that I had from like biology and like some college
Mhm.
courses and like just teaching yourself through YouTube. That's something relatively easy that you can do to eliminate some of these questions that you might have, or like when you're trying to increase fertility and you maybe using crickets, like some cricket sources sometimes can get pinworms. And rather
Mhm.
than thinking about possibilities, I'd rather know for a fact what's going on with my particular animals. And also, it's cool now to a point where I can send out animals that still need quarantine because you should not just throw animals and start breeding them right away. But
always
these
quarantine.
animals
That's
have clean
yeah,
fecals if they come from me and you didn't buy it in a day and ship it in a day. Because I can't force them to poop, but like typically I'll have like their last fecal or getting a new
Mhm.
fecal if I have at least a week to feed them,
When you
have
check,
them
do you use
pass
your
everything.
pinky or your finger?
microscope, bro.
The fecals
Yeah,
to
the
get it
fecal.
out. I actually like I pull them out, I sing
Yeah,
to
he
them a
does
little
a little
bit,
dab.
and then you gotta like what Seth does for this little hem, those rocks that he gets out of the little bulges. You gotta
Hmm.
rub it a little bit. Don't touch your geckos like that. That's gross.
Oh, you hear that, Joe?
Seth's doing
Stop
it for a
sending me
purpose.
pictures of it.
Yeah.
You
So
sickos.
I wanted to ask you something. So who brought in Inferno then? Was that you or was that Enzo? Like
Enzo
when
already.
he
Hello
already had
Orange
that in there
had
before
was
it
a
passed it to
Inferno,
you?
yo.
Okay,
Hmm.
nice. Okay.
And
Going
that's why.
over it a while back with Matt even too. He said that because I know that Hunter Manley ended up with some of those animals. There was another breeder whose name escapes me right now.
John Byer.
Um, that's one of them. And then I think Hunter Manley had two different directions he took them. And this is 3 years ago. I talked about this with him. So, I mean, I think one of them was like clown lineage direct, and the other one he put some Inferno in it. And I think I don't know which lines ended up with Enzo, but I think Hunter Manley might have been his connection to Enzo. You know what I mean? I'm not positive, but
Yeah, yeah. You know, he had some animals from Hunter. He also had some
okay,
animals from John Byer. Enzo did the original cross from like a pure clown to an inferno.
okay.
Okay.
Um,
So then he grabbed some of the pures or whatever it is from
yeah,
Hunter.
Ruckus is the one
That's
who,
good to
yeah,
know.
Okay.
Ruckus produced some infernos that he diligently tested out for having hets, which is
Okay.
typically just your albino strains and like eclipse, because you can't really test for everything under the sun and have that animal be like less than 10
Mm.
years old, you know,
Yeah.
especially like a female. So that's
Oh
why
yeah.
I started using like no known het. And like I should talk
Mm.
about that a little bit right now too, because I feel like there's like
Yeah, no,
plenty
no, go ahead because
good.
we had that convo one time, so
Yep.
thinking about it now, I've learned a little bit more. So go ahead and
Mhm.
yeah, definitely explain it because I'm not gonna be able to. But yeah.
Yeah, and like I can't take credit for it either because at the time, like me saying no het
Yeah.
was just for albino and eclipse, stuff that I tested out thoroughly, which I would always disclose to whoever's buying these animals,
Yeah.
trying to breed them, etc. But Seth was the one who's like, brother, you can't have no het if you didn't test for all of them. Did you test it for
Damn, Seth.
Cypher? And I was like,
That
I don't
was
work for
just
Cypher
like him.
Bowl.
Sorry, go ahead.
I know I can't nail this accent, but
You did.
know
You're
his
perfect.
accent.
It was
Yeah,
perfect.
it was on point.
Oh,
It was on
man.
point.
Seth, you sound just like that, man.
Almost.
The Hufflepuff. Yeah. And what's it called? So yeah, after that I was like, no, that makes sense. So no known het, and then like you're supposed to be like, what does no known het mean? And I'm like, well, I tested it out for all 3 strains of albinos. I have like over 300 babies that I like went through and like vigorously tested this stuff out from. And like obviously you shouldn't test something that might be het for Tremper to like different strains, because then you're like mudding things up if it proves het Tremper.
Yeah.
So like the first priority was testing for Tremper and Eclipse. To knock it out in one go, like it's easier, so much easier with a male. So you're going to want to use like, Raptors, Trempers, Het Eclipse. I had a lot of those. I had like all of these were racks. Like you'll see in the videos, like where the room was developing, where we moved into here, and I had like 5 or 6 different racks, as to where now I'm like only working with less than 30 geckos. I was producing like 200 babies every year because of test work, and I was like, I hate this. It was cool to see all the babies, but like at the same time,
it's a lot of
when
work.
you're producing stuff and testing stuff out, you're not going for phenotype, you're not going for reliability. You're going to have geckos that are like lower quality.
Yeah.
And so like that's contributing to a market where like you don't want to flood everything with like these mediocre geckos. And so it was tough. And when you're selling animals, a lot of people will see that pure, especially when there's like a new line and stuff like that. And they're like, I only want that. And I was like, well, mine from inception were crosses. And like crosses isn't bad, especially if we're already experiencing issues from those pool of clowns that came from pretty much like 3 or 4 different sources that's already experiencing issues because they've been crossed to each other for so long.
Yeah.
And outcrossing could have only done it justice. And outside of the test pairings, like there was only like a few pairings that I would work on that I already saw some phenotypes that were cool enough to hold back and like work on throughout the years. And that's mainly like the bold, like clown stuff, where I just want a really nice, like bold tangerine. I know Angel's like taking his shirt off.
Yeah. It's already swinging around.
Yeah.
Did you guys say bull tangerine? No, he's probably back at the wedding by now.
Any second now. No, he's at a wedding tonight too. So he even popped in and said something. But
no, that's awesome. I love that guy, man. He's definitely a character and a half.
Would you say if you weren't gifted that box of geckos that you would be working with clown today?
Ooh.
Probably not, because I was very strong on the point that like I was like, this clown stuff's ridiculous. And we intentionally like
around here.
Yeah, literally anything with like a name too. And like I never had like Cypher. I never worked with like any Black Knight stuff. It's just like there's certain things that I'm like, I don't like, there's too much to focus on for me, where I would just rather have like some cool bells. Coincidentally ended up with Trempers. Bells are my favorite. They've always been my favorite.
Bell Mafia.
And then
shout out.
Yeah, Bell Mafia.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Riys do a handstand. Yeah, but outside of that, it's just like really cool looking animals, like funky stuff. And then coincidentally, the clown stuff just was the funkiest of them all. And now I've been able to like hone down at least one line that I'm trying to develop. Never going to call it anything, but it's just going to be a bold tangerine.
Yeah.
I got you.
Because you're so humble. We got it.
Don't worry. We will figure out a way to name it for you so that
Joe's good at that.
We get a name if we want a name, bro. Like, that's all I'm saying. But no, that's cool. There are a lot of names out there. I've noticed that names drop in a lot of different ways. One of them is obviously like you have something new and different that looks different and doesn't look exactly like its predecessor.
Another
And then
line.
you've maybe you've line bred is another one. You did
Joker
your
Juniors.
filial breeding, and then you got to your line breeding. But then another one I've noticed here and there is like it's not like a desperation. It's more like a oh shit, somebody else has something similar to what I have, so I better hurry up kind of a thing. I've seen that.
That was me.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so it's interesting how some names come about. There's a lot of opinions on names. Mine's not so popular. I grew
Yeah.
up where you're at, so I grew up in California, and that's where the surfboard comes in on wildcard geckos, and it's just
I
kind of
thought it was
living.
because you liked that Rihanna song, but
That's reason number two. But you don't like that song?
surfboard. No,
Can you
I'll
sing
do
it
some
now?
dance moves.
You
That's
want
what
to
he
sing it
sings in
now?
the shower.
It's,
Yeah, I'm
so,
already dry.
but yeah, I think live and let live. If you've got something you're working with, because I don't have to buy it, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's like
have fun.
that's one of those things. But it at the same time, like it does get a little disheartening sometimes to see like a bunch of different names dropping all the time from God knows who's been here for one whole year, and it's like okay.
Yeah.
So
No, I
sometimes
definitely feel
I get
it.
a little bit like, okay, well, I can kind of understand the jadedness about it all now, and
Yeah, there's two sides.
so yeah, definitely. So I'm
I
on
sent
both teams. I'm on both teams.
Oh shoot. What's up, dude?
I sent John a message and I was like, I better see you in the live chat. And then I sent him Dominic Toretto and I was like, you don't turn your back on family.
Yeah, I don't know why
And
Steven
he's with family right
didn't
now,
have
so
a
he's
car
out
when I was
now.
a kid, man. Dang,
I know, that's what I was laughing
Yeah,
at.
that's
He said,
actually
there
you
ain't
pretty
know
no waves in
waves in
crazy.
Pomona.
Pomona, bro. Like,
I was
no,
like,
he's
that's
right.
accurate. I've
He's
never seen
right,
Joe
man.
surf no waves. That's all I'm
He checks
saying.
out, but
I lived in
uh,
Seal, but like
that
I
does
didn't
check
surf
out.
like that.
Joe has a water bed. That's what he's referring to.
I do have a
Hey,
water
those things are
bed.
kind of cool, but like,
Yeah,
uh,
you ever seen Edward Scissorhands?
Yeah.
yeah,
Somebody says waterbed, and I think of like I know there's the scene where the girl comes home, nobody knows she's on her way home. It's late at night. She goes into her room and he pops the shit out of the waterbed. But I throw myself into her shoes. Imagine walking into your bedroom and there's a guy there with 50 knives stabbing your bed the second you turn the light on, bro.
Oh, you
He's
were
not
jealous.
even coming after you. He's
You were
popping
jealous.
your bed. Sorry,
never had to worry about that.
when somebody says waterbed, that's where my head goes immediately. Just
You know what's crazy? Speaking of that movie, that shopping plaza they filmed that one scene in, that's in Lakeland, Florida, where I grew up at. And
is
my
it really?
grandma used to have a salon in that plaza. So it's not the same salon they filmed that scene in, but it's that same plaza.
Okay,
You
Yeah.
want to talk about movies? What about Milo and Otis, where they lost like 13 cats?
bro.
About those?
It's a good movie.
I don't
If you
like
got
that.
kids, you want to watch that with their. What's up, Derek? Derek's here. Gecko Boa Reptiles. Is that John?
Are you late, dude? We just talked. Yeah, we just brought that
Oh,
up. Like
He
dang.
was
you were
like
part of that.
frustrated that he
I
got
was like,
called
that don't
out
look
for
like
not
John.
surfing.
He
I
has
guess it's you, man.
Alzheimer's, bro. He just hasn't told us.
Yeah, old timers.
Get that
Short
man
term.
some sleeves.
I don't want them. I don't want them.
He likes
All
the
right,
gecko
so
nail.
I had a question that I kind of sat on because I didn't want to interrupt you, but you said hella orange.
I didn't
I
even name
remember
him. First of
you
all,
also
I would
said
never
pepper,
name the gecko that.
huh?
Yeah, pepper. A
Yeah.
little seasoning.
Now tell us about Pepper. What was she?
Just an inferno, like straight from Ruckus, no known het. So outside of John
Yeah.
and like Ruckus, those are the only two people, like especially like looking back, that I would have trusted taking anything from and like knowing that I could pair it to something and not get like hidden heads pop out of.
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying you don't trust Reese? I just want to
Well, I mean, like
make
now,
it
like there's no
clear.
way for me to track any of that. I feel like I
Yeah,
haven't
no,
been
absolutely.
as active, where I'm like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
like, would you pair this year? Or like, I
I
feel
got you.
like Reese has like 800 animals
No,
in terms of
not even
geckos.
close.
Yeah.
I just feel like I see something new like all the time, and he's posting stuff, and I'm like, what the hell? When did he get this?
Oh, appreciate that, but absolutely
That
not.
last bell was fire too.
Which one?
The last bell. where it's like super orange, but like those dark
Mhm.
burnt like would
That
have been
Sunfire.
melanin.
So I didn't produce that. I think that's a Sunfire from Sun and
You
Sama.
own it.
No,
You
I
paid
definitely
for
own it.
you paid for
Definitely own
the
it.
copyrights.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I did that. I'm using him this year. I took him to a gecko from Bayside, so it's gonna be a Sunfire to an electric clown, bell cross. So a
Yeah.
little
Okay,
inferno in
so
there too.
a bell. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Just
See,
wanted
we
to
I
throw
know
your
when
favorite one in
they're
there.
like Sunfire. I'm like,
Sunfire.
don't do that.
arigato.
So we had a question actually from Clint a little while ago. I wanted to make sure we asked that. How many geckos do you have now? I think you said.
I
Oh,
had like 34, but then like
Yeah.
literally like this week somebody wanted like 5 geckos locally,
Okay.
and then I shipped out like 3 of them. I maybe like 25, including like breeders, and that's like including like these guys. There's 4 in those.
Okay.
Yeah,
Trying to see that back there. Okay.
yeah,
Hopefully
those
that
are
answers the question.
so there's Leos in those behind you. I thought it was just a brony
yes.
and something else.
So like those 4 enclosures were sent to us by Vision.
Yeah.
Shout out Mark Beaver. He reached out to me like years ago and was like, we want to like sponsor you and like send you free stuff. And I was like, what the hell? And I missed it. And I was like, please like still be available. And I reached out to him like 2 years later and he's like, oh yeah, dude. And he's like, just tell me what you want. And I was like trying to be like, I don't really want anything, whatever you're willing to give me. And then
Yeah.
sends me like all the bells and whistles for everything. And then was just like, make some videos, make some content with it. And then
You
like
definitely made some
whenever
dope
I'm in town,
videos.
like invite me over. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
No, I
setting
like
those up, like,
watching those builds. It helped me when I
yeah,
first started, actually.
Yep.
yeah.
Some of your videos.
And that substrate mix was what made me want to throw it into like the other mixes. Cause before I even got those, I had 2 animals in a setup where I had like set parameters and I was testing out like UV and like if there's, yep, my liver, I got like fatty liver right now, potentially.
He's like,
Could be the
take
heart
it,
failure.
dude. Take it. Just give me
Yeah.
yours.
Fake news.
Yeah, but when I was testing out for like benefits of UV and stuff like that, if the animals were going to show like better behavior or like more vigor or like hold color better too, there
Mhm.
was just a lot of things that I was looking out for and I wanted to see them with it. And like my biggest takeaway was how much substrate like actually benefited these animals. And I have substrate in the adult racks too. So even in my rack setups, they have that and like
Okay.
literally no shed issues. I have like setups where they have like our lay boxes. My little brother like 3D prints them. Joe has all of those too.
Yeah.
I'll just put
Wow.
like moist eco earth in there, and they still will go in there and lay versus laying in any of the substrate. And I don't know, dude. They love it. They dig in
No,
it. They
they
have fun
do,
in it.
man. Because I
Yeah.
remember talking to you about that actually, and I switched mine over to the mixture you were talking about, and it helped a lot more. I had to add a little bit more excavator clay to help it dry out because
Yeah.
sometimes it would be a little bit too moist. So I would just have that on the side and add it and mix it in as I needed. But then doing the opposite, or not the opposite, but something a little different in the lay box did help a little bit too. But I did it for a year. I just couldn't keep going because the racks keep going, and I'm
Yeah.
like, it's
No, they do.
expensive to keep buying all that stuff for every single rack. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just switch back to the paper. But
Yeah.
they definitely liked it more. I did it a lot because everybody's digging, so I want to give them something to dig. So, but I remember when I did, a lot of people would ask about me, especially Bayside. He'd hit me up all the time. How's it doing? How's cleanup? Is it easy? Does it smell? You know, like you'd get all those questions, and
Dude,
everybody
no
asked me,
smell.
where'd you get it? And I'm like, oh, I got the mix from Bubba. You know, I would always tell him like, yeah, I'm
Mm.
just copying this guy. You know what I mean? I'm not making this up. So just following what he's doing. So it definitely is fun. It's cool to watch them be set up like a keeper while, you know, being a breeder without the tanks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like that's like my take on how I've always just had animals was like I'm not like a breeder. Like I'll never produce like a ton like outside of like the test work that I
Yeah.
was like so thankful to be done with.
Hmm.
But like, dude, I love being able to come out here and like look at the animals and see their like feed them, interact with them, like mess
Yeah.
around with them. And it's just like, I don't know, being raised with them like that is just, my mom taught me to like even like understand the animals a little bit more, like paying attention to like body behavior, and that's helped me a lot with like pairing and stuff like that, or different animals. Like I don't get bitten by like our snakes. I've only ever been bitten by like one snake ever, and like all this other stuff. Like I feel like the relationships isn't so much like, oh, I'm taming these animals, but like you're going around in a way where like you understand what makes them afraid and like defensive and like
Yeah.
go into like a predator kind of like but
Yeah.
working around that and like getting them to trust you in a sense and not have that fear associated with it is like super rewarding. And like even like the abronia that we have, I can literally go pluck him up and people are like, one, he's like the biggest one we've ever seen because I didn't breed him like prematurely, and then like two, like why is it not biting you? Like these things are supposed to be like super defensive and like crazy,
Mhm.
and I'll just be like,
No,
Nice.
that's super funny you mention that because yeah, because I do the birthday parties and stuff like that. What I get asked all. How come he's not biting you? Are you like I'm like, oh, I
Yeah.
don't know, maybe because I'm not a rat. I was like, what do you want me to tell? You know what I mean? Like, what do you want me to tell you? So I think building a relationship with your animals is definitely important, man. Because
yeah,
Yeah.
as you
especially
are a
when you do stuff
breeder,
like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
but even as a breeder, like you can get so big that means less and less time with each gecko. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's why I don't want to get too big either and stay where I can chill with everybody, still know their personality, still know
The
how they
biggie
act and
smalls.
stuff like that. You know what I mean? We
Yeah.
talked about it. You know what's
One
up.
of one of
Yeah.
the things that I'll do is I'll take like little pieces of terry cloth and put them in my pockets and just get to work. Um, I don't do it every day. It's not something I'm like, oh, I got to practice my terry cloth thing. But
What is a
I have
terry
a
cloth?
couple. Like I have one that I bred, and
Well, where's this going?
he has a this inability to get used to anybody. But if I put the cloth, I pull it from my pocket and put it in his enclosure, and then come back tomorrow, he'll walk right onto my hand. And then a week later, he won't like me again. It's just crazy how some of them, they're
You got
just
a lucky
skittish.
cloth?
They're like skittish in general, but if they get used to your scent, I think that helps. That's one of those things that I've done for relationship building. Um,
True.
Yeah, I've
ever-
never named any cloths that I own, but that's
Yeah.
crazy.
terry cloth is the type of cloth.
Well, because like where we were like,
His name
where's
is
this
Terry.
going?
Damn,
I'm
dude.
like, what is
I
a terry cloth, bro?
keep
Yeah,
a lot of candy in my pocket, and when the
it's a
Yeah.
gecko comes onto
washcloth,
my hand,
bro.
good little gecko.
It's a
Unlike a
washcloth.
chamois
Oh,
cloth, it's not a chamois cloth and it's not a microfiber cloth. It's a terry cloth.
oh, gotcha.
Man,
Cloth education there for you.
yep.
What
Yeah,
would
I
you
want
say, Bubba, is like some good tips and tricks that helped you bond with like a stubborn animal?
Food. It's just
Food
like,
always food motivated.
yeah, because like even an animal that's like afraid of you, but like snaps out of that for food, like there's always going to be like a food item that you can like get them to interact with you in a sense, like even
to.
putting
Yeah,
your hand out and like having them walk onto it. That's going to take a while, but just better in a sense.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Singing to them, I guess. Fucking terry cloths.
Terry Kloss, little magic tricks. That's where I thought
Yeah.
this was going. I put it on the gecko, and then when I pick it up, it's gone, and then it's on my shoulder later.
gonna go today.
Oh, so everybody's just leaving. Terrible joke. Yeah, I had to clear the room out.
This gentleman is a
Oh,
He was
terry
looking at me.
cloth.
dude,
Okay?
you're not supposed to show those type of things, dude.
This
What
is
are
a
you
terry
Yeah. Why is
doing?
it so rigid?
Why is it so
Is made by
rough?
terry. That's
Stand it
why
up. It's stand on its own.
It stands up, dude. That's sick.
it fell. It fell. I see what you're
And
doing,
I had to get this guy.
children. I see what
You
no.
He's
nasty
looking at me.
rag.
So yeah, I got a microfiber over there too. I should bring it on camera. Joe, your age is showing. That checks all the way out, Micah.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of my age showing, I'm going to interrupt real quick. Micah, I cannot turn this on. I charged it all night. So not only can I
And
not
you
use
sold
it,
it to me.
I can't use it, but I also cannot turn this on. I can't even. There's an
Bring
on
back
button right
bring back
here
the Abronia,
by
bro.
holding it in.
No one cares about this GoPro. Bring back the Abronia. Bring it back.
So I'm unable to turn that thing on. Maybe I didn't charge it right. Oh, yeah.
Is that a pied Abronia?
No, it's a lemon zesty.
Oh, nice.
No, they're calico. Like it's
Calico.
just a
Okay.
phenotype. Yeah,
Nice.
it's like
That's
where is
cool,
this gonna
man.
go?
That is another species. If I was to get something else, it would be that.
He's not biting you. I mean, that's cool.
No, I've seen
Yeah,
them
no,
when I used to work at the reptile store. They were super awesome. They also give live birth, don't they?
yeah, they do.
Yeah, so
What?
that's something. Yeah, that's another thing that's pretty dope about them. So
Yeah, those
they're
females
pretty.
will like sometimes they're a larger species, so they'll lay like or not lay, but give birth
Mhm.
to like 14 babies sometimes.
Dang, I didn't know it was that many.
Yeah. Well, that's why like a lot of people will breed them too early and then stunts their growth, but then also at the same time like they only produce like 3 or 4.
Okay.
Um next is a leopard gecko.
Yeah. So
Which one you about to show us?
next is a leopard gecko. Let's see it. I don't know if you guys see that sign in the background, but Lex just made that for him.
Yeah, for his birthday.
It's not lit up, so I guess it doesn't work, but it still looks pretty cool, huh?
The
Is it
leopard
supposed to
gecko
light
is
up?
on the loose.
Oh,
No.
he
Dang,
got away
canceled,
from
bro.
you already,
Canceled, bro.
bro. We had a Mariah on. I think she's in Holland, if I remember correctly, and she had an animal drop out of her cage. Oh, that was
Dang,
nice.
that's sick.
That's the one you got listed, isn't it?
No,
Or you
heck
tagged
no.
us in.
I was about to say.
Like doesn't even have like yeah, there you go. This is my holdback male from Starfire.
Okay.
Okay, so is that a 2024 baby?
Yeah.
Nice.
Is that the
He was
one
like super warm. This is like
he retired Hello Orange?
yes.
Oh, Hello Orange. Feel free if he's retired and he needs like a nice place. I've got a nice place for him to hang out. If
It's hella orange.
what's that,
Where's the orange, dude? No, I'm just
bro?
kidding.
He's like
I'm just kidding, bro. Dude, he's like hella orange. I get it.
hella old.
But look at how many spots he
Damn,
has
hella
now.
old. You just gonna let him roast your gecko, bro?
How old is he? Don't do it.
Let me check.
He's like, let me check. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to know
He's old. I
when.
think he's 20.
Okay. So Bubba, if you can hear me over there, YouTube content, man, you stop making it. What's going on?
I'm dying, Joe.
No, you are not, bro. You are not. That's not happening.
Jesus.
Are we
bro.
going to see any more YouTube content, or are you thinking you're putting a pause on that for now?
No, I mean I would love to. It's just right now, even getting up and out of this chair, I'm like
Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
But this is Starfire.
Okay.
So the
Beautiful.
F2 and like that male that I showed you first is the F3.
Okay.
Is that filial breeding?
Filial.
Filial breeding?
Somebody told me I mispronounced familial, and I'm like,
Yeah, you probably said it familiar breeding.
sort of, yeah.
You're
That's cool.
from Alabama.
Catch your breath,
Familiar
man.
breeding.
But yeah, YouTube content, man. So is that there's a pause on that going forward, or are we going to do a little bit more? What's going on? Because you make good videos.
Yeah,
So
because that's like I want to make good videos and like doing
yeah.
all that takes a lot of work too sometimes,
It
especially
does.
Yeah.
when you're like not experienced in it and like having to like learn as you go or like don't have some of the best equipment. But that's all just excuses, you know, because you
Yeah.
can literally just do it on your phone. And
Yeah, I mean that's how we all do it. So yeah.
yeah, I have videos still on YouTube. My old reptile like YouTube channel was Reptile Insanity,
Okay.
and I have videos on there from like 12 plus years ago with my little brother and I. We like were showing all of our animals, and when I first started breeding like leopard geckos, that's on there too, and just a crazy journey. And now I'm like, what's going on? There's always like my health, like feeling like fatigued and not really understanding like, am I just being lazy or what's going on? But even like right now too, like I'm on a ton of medications to manage my heart failure, but that's like I'm still dealing with like heart failure, and like it's also like it can get better, but it's not like guaranteed. And then they found out through all the testing, and like thanks to you guys too, because you guys were in the hospital like cheering me on and like sending me all this stuff too. So
Bubba.
that made me feel better. And maybe if I put this on, it'll help me catch my breath too. This is for Clint.
There it is. Right
Does a
there.
cartwheel.
I was waiting for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they found out I have a genetic mutation that's linked directly to my heart. Desmond, like a protein that is necessary for like muscle development and like keeping up with the strength. Um, Mine doesn't work basically, so the Desmond just doesn't produce properly. So it's a bunch of like muscle fatigue. My heart obviously went to a point in 2017 where I needed a pacemaker, and then I've also this is like my third one that I'm on, and they just thought like, oh, he just needed a pacemaker. He had syncopal episodes, like fainting since he was young, but then finding out in the hospital that it's a genetic mutation I've had my entire life. They're doing more testing on it because this was only discovered in 2003,
Okay.
and so it's like myofibular, like myopathy. So all my muscles, like you can kind of see, like I'm a taller on average than like your normal person, but um, my muscles will like get stretched out. Like my legs, I could look like I got chicken legs. I was like, wow, that's because I've been dealing with this. And they were like, yeah. And I was like, I knew it. It wasn't just because I look like Chicken Little or like Mr. Potato Head, like all just core. And then, um, yeah, they were telling me that potentially it's not curable or there's no like treatment plan for it, but they're working on a medicine, and like potentially I could lose like the ability to like use said muscles. So hearts included, lungs included, like throat, like even swallowing, speaking, walking around, stuff like that. So it was kind of like a big shock, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, now I have like an answer to all the stuff that's like been going on, and I
Yeah.
don't have to feel like dookie for no reason. Um, so that was nice, but then also there's like 5 years on average is what the lifespan that they gave me, especially for my heart. That'll need to get replaced. And since it's like a protein that's in the heart, that'll fix the heart in a sense, but
Yeah.
it's not going to affect my muscles. So my muscles will continue to deteriorate. And they think it's already affecting my lungs too. So that might affect like life expectancy wise.
Hmm.
Um, and then what's it called? Because it's not going to affect like my muscles, there's nothing that I can do for that, like a heart transplant. So after that, it's like quality of life in a sense. And even like for all of this too, I was like, all right, let's like hone it down and like do something meaningful and like
Yeah.
have an impact or like help when I can, or doing like these videos when I can too. And I start cardiac therapy soon, like on April 1st. So hopefully that'll bring back some energy. It's just hard because every day I only have like a little bit of energy. And then once I hit that, I go into like full heart failure and I'm just like laying in bed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Damn, dude.
yeah, I
That's
mean, not the health
tough.
update we kind of wanted, but like I
Yeah.
still wanted to update everybody. So like nobody's in the dark or like, why isn't he posting? I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. Life is life, and so that's why.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you don't owe anybody any explanation, but we do appreciate you coming on here and sharing that part of your life with us and the internet, I guess, because everybody in the world will see this. But you
yeah,
know,
yeah. Well,
even
it's
though
like the animals too. That's how I've always like gone about things. Like I'm not gonna gatekeep anything. If you like want to know like some of my biggest mistakes or like stuff like that, I want you to be able to learn from that. And like
But
whenever
what
I
did you
reach
do when
out
you
to
were
people,
12?
what did I do when I was 12?
What was your biggest mistake when you were 12, dude?
We moved back from like Illinois, and like at the time, I was gonna be dating like this girl from like 2 grades above me, and I was like rock star, and we were gonna have a date at Dairy Queen, and then we ended up moving, and I was like,
Oh, bro,
drop the ball,
that was
mom.
my cousin. She told me
Yeah,
about
yeah, Joe's gone. But
that. His
then
internet
I met
sucking.
Lex like
Nice.
so many years later, and it's way better anyway.
So With all this, what kind of impact do you want to leave? If you know what I mean, just like what do you want to impact the most? When people think of Bubba, what do you want them to think of? You know what I mean? All jokes
Yeah, not
aside, like when Bubba comes up, because I know everybody bumps heads, man, and I'm sure you've bumped heads with a lot of people. But at the end of the day, we're all
yeah.
people. We're all just breeding damn geckos. So you know what I mean. So it is a small community. We still hear about past things from people, and
Oh yeah, 100%.
so what kind of impact do you want to leave for us and for everybody, and just for Bubba's Emporium?
Yeah, and I feel like that's the biggest thing for me too. Is like you mentioned, like joking around and like, dude, making people laugh and like making sure like I look out for people too. Like when I can, like any intent from me is always going to be like good intent, and like even when I almost step on that line, it's because I feel like we have a relationship where I can be like myself with you. And
Yeah,
sometimes
not
like
hold
I,
back.
I, I take accountability as soon as like I know like I've done anything wrong, or like, oh, like maybe we weren't at that like level of joking around and stuff too. But like,
Yeah,
dude, if I can make you laugh by looking stupid or like doing something funny, like I'm always gonna do that. And like
yeah.
even with how everything is too, like I will always do that. But if you need to be serious, like I have those moments where I can step out of that and like totally
Where
have a heart
where
to
was that
heart.
the other night, dude? I was trying to be serious. You was all jokes.
You
I was
said
like,
we need to prep for this, and I
I'm
was
about to
like,
choke you, dude. I'm trying to work, and you're just like, ha
that's
ha
the
ha,
best part, though.
ha
That's
ha
the
ha.
best part.
And I was like, settle down. I'm trying to work.
Yeah.
Because then when you're going to bed too, you're like, I really want to. You're thinking about me, you know?
Yeah, I was. I woke up with my hands like this, and I was like, oh shoot. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Carpal tunnel.
Right.
Yeah, and
Super
it's
too much
just
food. So you
I don't
just
know,
want to make
trying to
people
be
laugh.
positive, light. Yeah, and not that everything's a joke, but like even when I reach out to people and I'm so like gun ho about like a topic, it's usually because I've made a mistake myself and I'm trying to like spare you from that as well. Or like, hey, you might like want to pet that out because in the future, like that's gonna bite you in the butt. And like, dude, I've done everything. I've been shipping reptiles since I was like 13. So using my mom's credit card and like all of that. So I've sent people the wrong gecko in like 2 days. So like then I had to rearrange, and then they're like, no, I actually like this one better, and having
Oh,
to
too
fight
bad.
over it
Somebody
essentially.
bought
So
it
it's like,
already.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like all the mistakes available, I've probably made them, you know, and like the way I used to keep animals, you can see how drastically that's changed. And like I'm never gonna be like, oh, you're a piece of shit for keeping animals like that. Like
Joe
I
will.
will tell
Yeah.
you that
No,
it's
man.
better, like it better ways now that I understand. But if
Yeah.
you set up like all of this and spent so much time, money, and energy putting it into a way that you thought was the correct way, and it
Mhm.
may not be, like that's still you caring about like
Yeah.
what you were trying to do. And like a lot of people just don't have like the money. I never had like the money outside of like making it for myself eventually,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
to do it how I wanted to. If I had even more money and like no limitations, all those geckos would be in like vivariums, you know,
For sure.
the best setups possible, like have a little zoo, you know. But
Mhm.
realistically, there's like how we were raised up in this hobby and like the people that we looked up to. Of course, like you want to emulate that and do that. So kind of being that like not shoving it down your throat, but being that example if you are looking
Trying
for
to
it.
find the line, yeah.
That's what I'm here for. Yeah. And
So
to
I
make you laugh.
will I will tell you that. So that's one thing I'll always take away from you is that do the work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether it's annoying, whether you get upset about it, it's too much, do the work. And so that is something for sure I could take away from you, from all the builds you have for each person, or animal, you know what I mean? Like the fecal testing, the parasite testing, all that stuff you've sent, just everything, you know what I mean? Just do the work and keep it fun. So that's something I'll always take from you for sure. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
No,
Joe,
geckos, reptiles, all that, they have to be, they got to be a part of you, you know?
yeah.
If they're just there for a hopeful paycheck, and that's one way to go about it. But I don't know. I always hear when I go to reptile shows, people talk about jobbers or they call them other stuff too, but I would hate to be referred to as something like that, as just
Somebody into
somebody,
just with money.
flipper, jobber, flipper.
Oh,
Yeah,
flipper?
just
Yeah, I was like a jobber, dude. What are you talking about?
yeah, somebody who grabs somebody's pet smart animals for $10 and tries to sell them for 20.
Oh,
Never
like
took them
Bubba.
home, and
He
Yeah,
said he
somebody
used
who
to
doesn't
work.
know it.
He used to work at PetSmart. He told you guys right here live.
Yeah,
That's where it all started.
yep. It's Terry Kloss.
Terry
I
Cross and PetSmart.
was gonna make some sleeves out of them later. Make a terry cloth T-shirt.
Oh, I was like, out of geckos, dude. What are you doing?
Um,
You did not, bro.
Look at that! I can talk again. That's
This
all.
dude has just been letting it rip in all kinds of ways. Oh my god, he was waiting for this WWF
Oh
moment.
my God, you did it!
Tonight Raw, Friday night.
The sleeves are off.
Oh yeah.
All right,
This
now
is-
that the sleeves are off, we're gonna go over to a segment we like to call "Let's Talk Shit About Some of the Breeders in the Comments."
All right. Do you guys
Starting-
know
Everybody
Bayside?
left.
No, I'm just kidding.
Starting with
The-
Brett at Bayside Geckos. Go.
No,
He
let's
has
talk about
hidden
the
head.
mall cup.
Let's do it.
All right, where is he? Hidden
Said
heads.
You said the mall cop?
Yeah, the mall cup replied on my post and said no when I said, "Don't forget to tune in at 5 p.m." I was like, Steven, you've been at my house, man. You ate my dry macaroni.
There we go. Everybody's here.
Anybody else when they?
Josiah said, no, let's not talk about him. I swear to God, I thought he was the guy from Pirates in the Caribbean that was partnered up with Johnny Depp the whole time.
Josiah?
I thought that was Josiah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you.
I'm the jar of dirt.
No sleeves and hats.
Oh,
Nah, gotta have hats, bro. We all got hats.
Hey, we got a boys to men.
No sleeves and hats. Yep. What's up?
I don't know.
Bayside
Reese
says
is
roast
showing
me.
a little neck, you know.
The two chins I have and the one neck. Yeah.
I didn't see any more chins.
Josiah says I have a dope Jack Sparrow fit.
Oh yeah, I bet. He's got the pirate drip
Makes
going.
sense. You got the whole look.
I could see it.
Heck yeah.
This is something I ask a lot of people that come on the podcast. So obviously
Super.
you're known for clown, dude, but what else would you want to add to your stuff later? Like you said, you don't have Cypher and stuff like that, but what is something you have seen where you're like, I potentially would get into that. It just didn't line up yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like bells is something I've always been like, I'd love to produce because of like the variety, especially when you have like white and yellow in there too. Yeah, the Cypher Raptors. I don't know. There's just like so much potential there because you see like crazy trempers with that dark contrast where it would be like melanin, but also obviously albino. Like Hell's Bells, like overseas, and then you got Brett's Hell's Bells.
Man, he's a copycat, bro.
Yeah.
See, that's the only reason why like I don't really like names. I feel like there's enough names out there already. And somebody new coming in, like they're not genetics. Like ball pythons, it's a little easier because they're like actual genetics, but we're like when we're naming all these lines, so confusing.
I think I seen something about a dust devil today. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you saw how I did like a crop dust to Lex before.
Yeah. My man had some refried beans today before the
I don't know
show.
why.
After the show ends, I'm going straight to go wipe.
Oh yeah.
In about an hour, it's almost.
That's why she left, dude. That's why she left.
She was like, I can't be here
Like, you guys can't smell this.
on camera anymore. So
yeah, like no other like projects outside of that. It's like I love bold tangerines and like especially now, it's like I'm not gonna diversify anymore. Like I want to hone in like what I was going for, and it's just I was having fun the entire time I was doing it. So like that for me was the experience that I needed. Like there's nothing that I'm like I want to create the world's first. Nah, I was never like super ego into it.
No, that's cool. So just a melanistic tangerine trimper, bold tang.
Nah, not even that. Because like I don't like melanistic stuff is cool, but like I don't have any Black Knight stuff. I have like one that Kevin Ferran gave me. That's like that. his dad was a Mandarin Tangerine Black Knight that proved het Tremper, and then
Okay.
so I have like his son, which is a Tremper albino with some Black Knight lineage that throws like dark babies, and those are cool too. But like, I don't really like Trempers that much, you know. I'd rather focus in on bells, and so
Yeah, yeah.
John sent me like a nice bell. Steven traded me a nice female bell that has like the phenotype that I like, which is I like stark white with some contrast, you know. And then
Yeah.
pairing those up, pairing those up.
Okay, okay.
Now,
We'll
bold
take a look.
tangerines are definitely one of my favorites, man. And honestly, it doesn't even matter what kind. I know everybody has their brand of bold tangerine cigarettes they like to smoke on, but for me, it's just all of them, literally. Like some people have what they just call bold tangerines. I like those.
Like I
Yeah,
smoke them
the
all,
Heidi
dude.
Rival's
Bolds,
cool.
and
What's
then you
that?
said Heidi Bolds,
Yeah.
Bubba Bolds. No, don't
Yep.
ever name something after me,
Oh yeah,
unless it's like
that's the
unless
name.
it's a cloth, unless
It's
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 a
the
gonna be
cloth.
booba,
the booba.
the
Yeah.
booba
So
cloth.
man,
Yeah.
when that video came back that we had made, like we obviously had the best of intentions, but could not have even hoped
It made
for
me
that.
laugh.
You know,
It made me laugh,
like
Oh, it
and
the
made
like
me
fact that
laugh.
they
I'll go
when they
to
said your name, it
comedy
was
shows.
Booba. I
Yeah,
part of me
nobody
like
told them to say it like that.
part of me
That's
was complete. You know, I was just like,
that was
oh
my
Nobody
my
whole.
told them to stay
god,
like
like
that.
that
That's
was
their
No,
accent.
yeah, that
Don't
was
be
them.
mean.
That's why it was
Don't
so
be mean.
funny because we
yeah,
never said that. And
that was yeah.
Who told
I
them
was
to
like
put the mouse around their nipple? Because that was probably Joe.
yeah, and no,
yeah,
that was all them, bro.
we
They
slipped them an extra 5 for
they
that one.
color that video up, but no, I wanted to choose a different song, but I had just literally run that new ad we got going on the Instagram, and at that time, it's like me and Riys and a bunch of other people were talking about that song and how it just hit hard and we liked it a lot. So I sent it. I wish I would have done like something like girls just want to have fun or like it's raining men. I wish I would have done it's raining men. That would have been fun, you know. But
I'm still laughing at the fact that like you're sending audio
yeah,
clips to people and you're like, didn't that hit hard? Didn't that hit
yeah,
hard? Right?
yeah. You're gonna make up some stuff later for it. That'll be good. But no, that was when they all screamed your name like that. I was like, oh my god, that was so good.
Bro, when he came back in with the dance, with the sign, that was my favorite part.
Worth every penny, dude. I was like,
He
this is
slid in with a lot
awesome.
of energy. It had me dancing a little bit.
Yep. It's like, okay. Reese is like, I didn't realize this song was this good.
Honestly, I thought that was gonna stick for a lot longer because everybody like for like 2 weeks after was calling me, "Hey, Booba," and I'm like,
Oh, it's gonna stick. I don't even
He did
remember.
not just do that.
There's a couple of things in the hobby that are gonna stick. It's gonna be some terrible shit that Brett does, right? It's gonna happen. He's gonna do something stupid, and we're all gonna
no
never
Yeah,
ever
sleeves.
let him live it down.
definitely Brett for sure.
Angel, infamous, he's gonna sharpie on some geckos one day, and we're gonna catch him.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be able to help it, and then your nickname. That's what's that definitely is gonna
Gonna work
be
out.
We're gonna have the Booba line.
the booba line. Yep.
That's what
Yeah,
your
and
clowns
like
are gonna be named.
the Boobas. Yeah, I mean, it'd be crazy to see how like red we can get that middle stripe, and like even
Yeah.
on some of those babies, like they have like under stripes too. Like outside of like those bold black lines,
Yeah.
there'll
Mhm.
be like that yellow, and then you get like that turns into orange, but then like you almost get that same red like on their sides. So it's almost like developing a quad stripe that you could work into like eventually. But some of those stripes that came from Hello Orange, like some of those babies had like bold stripes going down from their chin on their bellies, going all the way down to the tail, which
Yeah.
was crazy. Like I've never seen spots like on somebody's like belly like that too. So it's crazy, and like there's a lot of potential there, and I feel like just refining that is going to be super cool because I want to see those things like connected from his head to his tail,
Yeah.
like no disconnection there in the bold like stripes, and then have it be as red as possible. And somebody was like, damn, that gecko's kind of getting close to holding green even like 3 years into it. So I don't know, that'd be cool too.
What are you adding to the red for the red? Do you have an
I
idea or
know.
Like there's trempers that have a ton of contrast.
Mhm.
like red diamonds, and then you see like Big Mike is out there, Molavi, posting like those Bengal red diamond clown crosses.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Starfire actually, the F2 started ovulating like this week too. So I'm just gonna take her over to Nick, and Nick's is just gonna like pair her to one of those like from Mike that he
Mm,
got. And I feel like
okay.
those babies will be cool. But also that was because the original like mother to that whole line that I've kept and like refined, where I have like F3 now,
Yeah.
um, over like 5 years. Um, that female he originally gave me was a pure clown that proved het tremper, and he got like a visual. And then he was just like, "This gecko's ugly. Like, she's like disgusting. I know you're getting like a group of animals from me, but like I'm gonna give her to you and take $75 off of your total because she's like that ugly." And I was like, "All right, cool. Like, give her to me." And after like 2 weeks or like even like to a month,
Mhm.
at the time I was like loving bee pollen, and I had like desert iguanas, and I had like bearded dragons and chameleons too. And so like supplementation was like, that's where I started getting crazy with it. And then before I got to like spirulina, um, that bee pollen
Crazy.
actually got her color to come back like crazy.
Yep.
And he was
You
like,
think
"What the
you
hell? Like,
think
she's
it
not
was the bee
ugly."
pollen?
That's the only thing that I was using at the time. And like when you think
Well,
about it, like
okay.
that's beta carotene, you know? And
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
when
always hear the misinformation, like it enhances color, then some people say it doesn't. So that's why I was wondering,
I
like,
mean,
did you
don't use
actually
it for
notice
something
the
like
color
that.
difference?
Yeah, but if you have like a female that's like proven and like bud ugly, like there's like I don't have geckos that get like dull like that anymore. Like ever since like I keep up with supplementation, gut loading like crazy, like
Yeah,
dude, I
yeah,
gut load all of our insects like
Yeah.
insanely well to where they eat better than us. And
yeah,
a lot of that stuff is like all organic, and like the bee pollen is just granules, and even that stuff I found like farmed locally from different like sources, like from Mexico you can get like different locality bee pollen too. So there's a bunch of like cool different avenues that you can go to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to take pictures of this guy because like that's what he looks like, not on like a little webcam.
I won't say who, but something like 3 years ago, I actually got into a. Somebody actually wrote me into an argument about bee pollen, and they said something to me to the effect of, "Well, you're doing like enhancements, and that's why your animals look so whatever." And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
do you take supplements, bro? Like, have you ever
not even now. I
not
feel it's
wanted knee
organic.
pain or like,
Yeah, it's not even like that. Yeah, what Reese
yeah,
is saying, and I feel like it's probably the same mindset, but like
yeah,
when you're eating insects as your primary like natural diet,
yep,
those animal like insects are going to be covered in pollen. They're going to be like you don't think that they're going to catch like black soldier fly larvae or like something that's flying. I've seen
yeah,
Yeah,
these geckos like jump after them too, like
yeah,
after they mute, like what is it called?
pupate.
Yeah, pupate.
yeah,
Yeah, and like the Bronya love them, and so like it's fun seeing geckos try for them, but then like grasshoppers too. Like that's the craziest I've ever seen any leopard gecko react for like a food item is
The
grasshoppers. Like
grasshoppers. I've been wanting to
yeah,
try
and
those. I hear they're
dude,
expensive.
yeah, they're kind of expensive, but like totally worth it. And then like
Okay.
on occasion too, you don't need to like get them all the time. Like I feel like
mhm,
they're really meaty, like especially before breeding, dude. Those females love it. They stay like super fat, but like lean, not like obese, where you would get like eating mealworms and like dubia roaches if your protein is like mismatched. But like even dubia, like I've never fed like dog food or anything. Like it's crazy, you know?
yeah. I'm trying to find it. Is this mine? The one you sent me?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty,
because you see
yeah.
all that black too, that'll
Yep.
disappear and then come
It
back
has.
like color orange.
Okay.
And then
It
like
has
once they're
disappeared.
like a
So
year to 2 years, like
yeah.
just keep an eye on that gecko. It's crazy.
Well, she's really, really long, almost like, giant status. I know she's not one because she's still skinny,
But that's
but
from Pepper too, right?
okay, she eats well, and then she's like super long. I have a tub that I put everyone in, and then I wipe it out in between, and I put them there so that I could clean their tub and like take extra time on it, and not have to keep eyes on the animal. She's not even full grown, and she's the only one that's ever gotten out because she's like real strong. She pushed
You
off
have
her
this
tail.
gecko?
Yeah, the one I have pushed off of its tail and was able to grab the top and pull herself out. I couldn't believe it. It's the only one too, and I have some that are bigger than her. So that happened
With
just
that
the other
too,
day.
I feel like that's from Pepper, right? Did we talk about
I
that?
would have it in my notes.
Because I feel like it
Let
is
me
potentially because
click
you
off
you
screen to my
tend to like
notes.
that pairing. The only reason I'm
Yeah,
asking is because Pepper is like super long. She's a big gecko. Like if I were to feed
yeah,
her like how normal people like feed their leopard geckos, which in my opinion is a little bit too much,
yep.
almost like to where it gets like too power feeding. Um, she would easily be over 100 grams. Like when Lex holds
Okay.
her, it goes from like the tip of her finger to like right here. I can
What
probably just grab her
what would
for
you
you.
say is too much?
Um, so like even in winter, for me, I cool
Mhm.
things down. I don't keep feeding them through the winter like as often as I would. Right now, like I'll fill their bowls, like because I don't have babies,
Mhm.
like once a week, and then that's with just regular mealworms. They'll get like crickets and stuff like that supplemented throughout, and then grasshoppers when it gets like warmer springtime. Um, but like when you have animals that like hatch and get to 80 grams in 6 months, that's absurd. I have like that male that I showed you was actually 6 months old, the one that I'm holding back.
Okay.
Technically, he could have been like way bigger and like almost dominating a female when it comes to like breeding. But
Mhm.
since I cooled him down, cut back on feeding,
That's a nice one.
he'll be a little healthier to me if I like
Okay.
I want these animals to live longer in a sense. So
Yeah,
that
no.
was what I'm trying to do. And even like those females that like Joe would buy, that's like, hey, this one's
Mhm.
longer. Like I wouldn't breed that one for like 2 years because they
Mhm.
continue to grow without hitting eggs and getting like stunted because then they're using all that energy and nutrients to go to egg production.
Yeah,
Some of them will
See,
just start laying eggs.
I've
that's a
heard
nice
both
son.
arguments, bro. And he's out of here. But no, I've heard both arguments to where like you should
I can
breed
still
it
hear you.
within you should breed it within the year because if not, it'll affect them. And then then you got people like what you said, let them grow out longer and then breed them, and that won't affect them negatively. But I've heard both sides, so it's one of those things like I don't know. We need, I guess, more data, like factual data on that specifically. But yeah, I've heard
Yeah, and
both
like
sides, both
at
arguments.
that point you need like controlled environments too. And like
Hmm.
I'm not a scientist, so I'm not gonna
You're a
like
mad
pretend that I'm
scientist.
gonna be able to do something like that too, and be like, oh, well, because
You're a
I did it,
monster.
that's like the truth, and there's no other way that it can be done. But
Facts.
obviously, like these animals in nature are gonna want to reproduce as fast as possible because they could die at any time. Um,
Yeah.
when they're in my care, I want them to live as long as possible, and
Oh yeah. Sorry.
for me, like especially if an animal
Dang.
can get a larger size, if I like don't try to rush into things, then I'm going to try to do that. And dude, I've bred animals like back when I first started, people were telling me to breed animals that were 35 grams, and that was kind of a standard.
No. It's
And
too
like,
much.
I was like, yeah, this, like, these geckos are small. And then, like, you're
Yeah.
getting geckos that like max out at like 55 grams. And then I started waiting and I started breeding a little bit later, and you get like bigger geckos, and you're like, hey, I see like is this a giant? And I'm like, no, I just have like big geckos. And
Yeah.
like even like
No.
Pepper too, like this is how big she is.
Hang on.
I don't know if it's like a good size reference,
Okay. So
but
yeah,
like
the one I
she's
got's
maybe
gonna
about like
be.
12
It's
inches.
pretty long. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you got some good photos here. I'm looking at a lot of your stuff and all these greens coming in. I don't know if do you remember meeting me at the Phoenix Expo like 2020 or 2021 when you were out there?
With Thomas and Junior,
I
that
was
same.
on my own, man. I came up and talked to you guys for a minute. I was it was like a long time ago. I had lots of animals, but I wasn't I don't even know that I had an Instagram at the time, so maybe not, huh? I just
Yeah, because the only time that we were ever in was it Tucson or Phoenix?
no, it's Phoenix. Mesa. So you guys were at the Mesa Convention Center, and I came up to you and I
Yeah,
told you
because
that
I've only been to that
looking
one
at your
once.
Instagram, which I think I had just gotten an Instagram. I was just like, man, some of these greens when they
Yeah.
come in, I was like, you got some of the more green, like really impressive, like this right here. That is insanely like you just want to stare at that all day. How do you not work with these?
Yeah,
Somebody,
that's Starfire too. So like that's the F2, and like even her baby is like
yeah,
going through like that green right now too.
got to get some
And
pictures. Is this also Starfire right here?
yeah,
I kind of feel like
it's
I
just
got
her
a
as
look
she's
for
getting
her
older.
then. There's one, hang on, that's her again, and then there's one where right here. That's her.
Yeah, and
Damn.
How
then
old is
if you
she?
even scroll down, she's 3.
3. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's 2022. Yeah,
Solid.
scrolling down this video of the dance. Did you guys watch this? If you didn't watch this video of their dance, I highly recommend it. It's good for
are you
every.
even sharing the screen or is it?
Yeah, buddy, it's on. Where am I
Okay.
going to?
Oh,
Yeah, I was
we
like, I can't
we
see it.
thought.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, that's Starfire. Yeah, I could see like a little screen of it, and then I'm trying to. Even if you go like down more, where she's like a baby, like where the lighting is a little bit like stressed out, especially on like a white background,
Okay,
just like a paper towel. Oh yeah, that's her too, in like a transitioning phase.
okay. I kind of got a feel for what she. Look at that. Just how the
Dang.
red is on there too. Like she's.
Yeah, that middle stripe came in
Yeah,
good.
it gets red, but then it like fades
Goes
out.
away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got to keep
Kind of
it.
wild. I got an idea for who she is. I'm gonna keep going down the line here. This one.
yeah, that's where like the green gets like limey in a sense, and then it'll
Yeah.
get like dark.
Yep.
There's one where it's like I took a picture above like tile too, and she
Okay.
looks like so green right there, and almost
I
like
have
burnt
I have
red.
one that looks like that first one I just saw on here. I have that one too. That one is mine,
Yeah,
and that one, I think.
that's the little like clutch mate,
Yep.
just
Okay.
Starfire.
This one's Starfire. Look at that green, man. That is
I just like the red.
Yeah,
you're just like,
yeah, it's crazy. Like people offered like 1,400 for her, and I was like, no, I need her babies.
is that her?
I need her babies,
Yeah.
dude.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a picture like I was talking about too. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bayside confirms you got long geckos the long way.
I got
When they're babies,
long
I just like
geckos.
kind of like
Yeah.
Let me see here.
Medieval torture
take
methods.
their vent and
Yeah, just blow into their mouth.
yeah.
No me gusta.
That's how he gets the fat tails.
But yeah, no, these are crazy right here. I actually got a video of this one when after she laid her first clutches. I remember we caught her burying the egg, and then I made a video out of it. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, and even like her mom, the F1,
Hmm.
you can scroll down because Brett has the F1 now, but
Okay.
when he got her, she was already washed out. But when she was a baby, looked insane too.
Okay. Are you able to see this one right here? Is that Starfire?
So the one at the bottom, no, is her mom,
Okay.
and
Oh, that's her
got
mom.
super washed out. Yeah. So the F1 to that is at the bottom, and
Okay.
then Brett has her.
The one at the bottom?
Mhm.
Okay. I think I know this animal. I'm trying to put a name to it because he has names for his animals. This
That's
is the
the
one.
gecko I posted like 2021
Yeah.
with like the orange lighter that I had too.
Yep.
And
Nice.
like a belly.
You didn't want to get rid of this one, right? He was talking about
Yeah,
it
no.
yesterday. Okay.
Yeah, even the other one that he ended up getting too, I didn't want to get rid of that one too.
Gotcha.
And then he shot me with the
And then
gun.
I don't know if anybody saw the last photo here, but you're the only person I know with a pink gecko, bro. Why didn't you put more emphasis on letting us see it?
No, because everybody thought that was real too. Like
I know. I remember.
even
Right.
like when I posted, yeah, the one by itself. It's just
That
like
looks
people are
real.
so
I mean, that's
gullible.
crazy. It
Yeah.
looks like a pink snow or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then you can post content like that and just like rack up followers like insanely fast. But I'm like, bro, I've seen so many people, like good friends too, where followers just like got inside their head and they thought they were like bigger than the sun, and I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Oh, he says he named her Slime. That's right. I remember that now. Look at that. Who is that? That thing is amazing.
Yeah,
Who's
there were
that
some geckos
Pokemon?
that went down to Mexico too that were like really nice.
Down here?
I mean, yeah, even like
Is that a
more so.
tegu swimming?
Yeah,
Is that
it's
real?
Yumi. Yeah, no, it's like the pink
Put it in
gecko.
the pool with the chlorine, bro?
No, that's like a kiddie pool
Yeah,
outside.
it's like a kiddie pool, dude. You could tell.
That's how I fill all my
Mm,
waters in here, though. So if anybody's looking for like a hack for those, you get
yeah.
the RV like
Hey.
filters for like your RV
Yeah,
connected to your hose, and then you can fill up those like big jugs of water. Because I have
Yeah.
like a misting system, and you need filtered water for that stuff too.
I got this
yeah.
one. That's the first one I ever got from you.
I think I remember packing up that first box for you too. I feel
Yeah.
like you were just so cool. I was like, I feel like all people should be like this, but then you run into like some crazy individuals.
Should be like what? No
All
sleep.
hanging out with me, and it's like, nah, okay. This guy's hanging out with
Next
Reese.
time somebody gets a gecko from Bubba, it's having a questionnaire. Are you wearing sleeves right now?
Yeah,
Answer the question. If so,
Yeah.
no shipping. You don't pay shipping if you got no sleeves.
So
yeah. My biggest thing for like waiting, also to like go back to Reese when you mentioned that, like waiting to pair those geckos a little bit later instead of getting like 8 to 10 eggs. My females will lay like consistently like 20 eggs every season,
wow.
and like the fertility rate is like
Higher.
82 to 86%. Yeah,
Are you
like in terms
pairing
of
them
hatch,
twice or just the one time?
never. It's always a single like visual lock,
Okay.
and
Okay.
like
He said never. I never lock them.
never.
They just
Yeah,
produce.
no,
I
because
get-
like some people are like, oh, I didn't take or something like that too, and they're like, I need to redo it. But if you get like one good visual lock, and like if you have like a smaller amount of animals like I do, you could sit
yeah.
there and just be patient, let them lock. Sometimes like first time like males, instead of like roughing up your female, you can grab that little female's tail and be like, you go right here, and then it's easier for him. You can help out in the process, make sure it's in there, and then yeah,
None of
after
this
that,
is
that's all you
good for
need.
the kids. None of what's happening right now is good for the kids.
Especially the finger
Don't
pointing.
help the gecko.
Yeah.
None of this. Whatever
Nah,
you
but I
did.
do the same thing, man. I just watch them from the store.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
definitely lock more than once. So that's something Joe was telling me. He just locks once. And I was like,
Yep.
really? And you get all these babies from one lock. With me,
Well,
if I lock once, I might get a clutch. It's gonna
yeah.
be bad, and then I won't get anything else. So I
Yeah.
visually make sure they all lock at least 3 times, and then I'll leave it be.
I mean,
Or if
yeah,
he
you
doesn't
can,
want to.
yeah, if you can like let them know or like leave them in there that night that you paired them too. Usually that female's still going to be pretty receptive, but
Yeah.
I've never really needed to like have them go and lock in again too because they
Mhm.
retain so much. And like even like from a gecko, like I've hatched like a clutch of eggs that I didn't pair. Like I tried to like give her like a season off, and she retained sperm from the previous season and gave me fertile eggs. So it's like,
That's
No,
insane.
I
yeah,
haven't seen that
I don't
yet.
I don't really need to like repair. Like, yeah, that's not me like worrying about like, did he get it in there?
Need to
Right.
get it in.
Yeah.
I've had them to where I've paired them, um, and then they won't drop eggs. Like you kind of said, it'll be the end of my season. I'll turn the incubators off, and the one that never laid eggs will start laying eggs. And I just think that is so gross that you just have that hanging out. Like
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
because like even visual locks, you got to make sure like you visually see that like
yeah,
inserted because the male will have like the same effects where he's just like, "Urgh," and then like
Mhm.
it's on her thigh,
Yeah,
and
I've
she's
had that
like,
happen 2 times. I
oh,
was like,
no.
"What did I just watch happen?"
Yeah,
yeah,
and those things look like aliens. And I'm like,
yeah.
oh,
We had
It's
a
just funny the face. You're right. The way they like they'll do the whole
yeah,
face. It's hilarious.
squint, yeah, and
Yep,
I'm like,
yep.
bruh,
Squint, open
their
their
head
mouth
gets
and
all like
tighten up. I'm like, is
tense.
this really happening right now, dude? This is
Yeah,
gross.
yeah, something on the Facebook group earlier. Heidi was she was saying how she's like, yeah, there's no shame in it, guys. Like we all watch them lock. We have to. We got to make sure they're safe, and because it can be Steven just said, well, I came back at the wrong time.
I came
Yeah,
back at the
at
wrong
the
time
right
where you missed
time.
me talking about making my geckos longer by blowing through their vents when they're babies.
He did say that.
I'm just
Wasn't
mad you used those words all in the same sentence.
wasn't approved.
Well-
Wasn't approved, but didn't think I would be listening to this.
Welcome to the Power Hour. All
Yeah,
right.
welcome. Well,
And
Bubba, man, I
Bubba.
can't thank you enough for coming on here and
Oh,
sharing all that you did.
They're kicking me out. They're kicking me out. I told them I was going to hold them hostage
I
for 3
got a
hours.
kid to go
Well,
to
While the
bed.
police-
I mean, we all showed up in a suit and you don't even have sleeves on. So what do you want us to do, man? Like, it's humiliating. What's going
Cry
on?
about it, sweetheart.
Cry about it. Micah, if you figure this out, text
Oh my
me
God,
or
back to
something.
the
Let me know
GoPro.
because I need somebody to tell me how to use this GoPro. I charged it all night. It's acting
No,
like I didn't.
Steven, I ripped these off. I ripped them
I saw it.
with my
I
strength.
saw it.
Lex didn't
Yeah,
have
we
to
had a
jump in on
costume
that.
change, Steven, right in the middle. Last year there was a podcast where Michael was actually on there, and I remember having like trouble last year with some pairings, and I was right in that moment where all week nothing would take, and they're all ovulating, and then she's like on this podcast, and she's just putting males, or maybe she's putting the females, but I think she was putting the males in the female tub, and they're just locking right behind her, and there's like 3 or 4 going on at once, and she's acting like it's not even a big deal, like. And I'm sitting there at the screen just staring like I don't even know what they're talking about. I'm watching her successfully pair 5, 6 animals right in front of me. And I just remember like, all right, I see
You were
what's
on
up.
the Gecko Hub. Okay.
Yeah. Something like
I mean, she
weird.
jumps on Instagram and posts like a
Yeah.
carousel of like 20 pictures, and they're all like of pairings that she's like,
Yeah.
these paired tonight. And I'm like, what the hell?
Yep. She got them all too. She was like, "Yeah, I think they're all locking. This is great." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, is it great? Is it great that I'm
Meanwhile, I got
failing and
males
you're
trying to
not failing?"
69 and lock on their nostrils. I'm like, it's the wrong end, bro. The wrong end.
Oh,
Gives all the
yeah.
geckos honey packs and blue chews. What's going on?
You did not just say blue chews, bro.
All
Oh
right.
my God. That was funny. Anyways, what's your mother sucking
Mount
Mount Rushmore?
Rushmore.
There we go.
Mount Rushmore, Bubba. What do you got, man?
They don't have to kick me out. I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
After Mount Rushmore. After Mount Rushmore.
No, yeah, because I should talk about like who kind of inspired me.
Yeah, you
Yes,
should.
sir.
John is like, I don't know, dude.
He's all right.
Not to glaze the guy or anything, but like
Yeah.
the way how he's always had that like website accessible has never like really changed. Has always just been like the same person. Now he's getting like more senile, like especially with all you crazies like starting to name everything. You're making him less.
And he's just picking his hair
less
out.
vessels, yeah. But yeah, he's been so consistent with everything, and that was something like I always wanted to like emulate. And Steven says my old reptile channel inspired him. So
yeah.
sorry for that. I used to say like I thought like to sex an animal, it was like SEXT, like to like sex text.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's still I don't live that one down. It's literally still on YouTube. I'll never change it. I'll never take it down or edit it.
Sext them after 9 o'clock. That's when it's
Yeah,
free.
I had a lot of like help from the Kinters, and like a lot of that like help was like for like different information than how I developed, but like still helpful people like giving me a hand and information when I didn't really have that information before, or
Okay.
just like being able to hook me up with animals that eventually I was able to find a love and joy in something and take those away. So I wouldn't say like I'd hate to see their faces on Mount Rushmore. So like I don't know if that would be around Mount Rushmore for me.
Okay.
Just put like John up there, and then you have like Chris from Suburban, who was just like obviously his personal life's taken him away from a lot of like now and like being relevant. I'm sorry, Chris, but you're not. I'm just kidding. We love that guy, but like where's the geckos? You know.
I reached out to him, see if he'll get on the show. He hasn't responded yet, so we'll see if he.
Well, that's what I mean. Like personal life,
Back.
like right now, is really like
Yeah.
taking him away from like everything.
You know who did
So-
respond to Riys? Ron Tremper.
Yeah, but he told him no. He said, "Dude, who the hell are you? Like,
Yep.
you don't even
Yeah.
have sleeves, and you're coming to talk to me. You know how long I've been breeding leopard geckos? 45 years."
And then
Back.
Riys proceeded to tell him, dude, you just literally said yes. And he's
I had to get Reese's back, and I was like, "Ron, I didn't even know you worked with leopard geckos."
yeah.
Oh, I saw that, bro. I saw that comment. I was like, this
Yep.
fool.
Well, because everybody also like puts Ron up there too, and like I never bought any of the Ron books. Like I saw like those super
Goodbye, my
snows
book.
and like those geckos that look like aliens because they're like so inbred. I was like, bro, to me, like not even having that much experience, like that was something I wanted to distance myself away from. So I was like, he's not on my Mount Rushmore. Blah, blah, blah. Another one would probably be, I'll put Enzo up there. I'll put Enzo up there because like
I
if
figured
that
you
guy
would.
kept with it and everything, I feel like he could have contributed to the hobby in like a much bigger way. Especially for those like who were influenced by him. Like he's not an old head. The dude's younger than me, but like influence wise, like he could have had like he had so much potential. I know there's like people that I'm missing right now too.
Well, you
And,
only
like,
get 4, so you got 2 more, dude.
He's
Yeah.
got one more.
It's
No,
just
the other one he said he doesn't want to put up there. He just honorable
Okay.
mention.
yeah, because there's like people who are out of the hobby now and like will never get
Yeah.
back into it. So it's like it's hard, and I like there's times where I've been in and out of it at the same time.
Oh no,
too.
no, you're right. We got 3. We got John, Chris, and Enzo. You're right. So 1 more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joe.
Uh,
I can't count, bro.
you just say old head?
Yeah, he is an old head.
Yeah. Take your hat off. Let's see how old it is.
Bro, I got a full head of hair.
Yeah.
I ain't
Yeah.
missing nothing, bro. I got some what do you call it? Gray in the beard.
Spray
There's
is
some
for.
There's not a receding hairline.
He has a subscription for that little spray.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But
You got
that
nothing
hair
on
right
the
there,
blow over this, dude?
ain't no way a full head of hair you'd have at your age as a surfer, though. The hair would have been brittle and gone.
Yeah, I moved
waves were
to
you surfing?
Arizona in 1996 when I was 16 years old, and then Columbia, Missouri when I was turning 44. So I haven't surfed
Speaking
in a
of
long time.
birthdays, I'm turning 34 on Monday, so getting up there.
I didn't ask you that. I didn't ask that. I don't
I
remember.
didn't say you asked. I said, speaking of.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I
Man.
would
Monday?
say like I'm the biggest fan of Matt at Sisobic, but those videos, man, helped me a lot. Like
Yeah.
especially like all the whiteboards and like talking about like media influence. Like nobody else was
That's
posting
right.
on YouTube like that, you know?
That's who knows how to do the GoPro. He used to attach it to his head. I'll be
Yeah.
calling him to see about
There you
getting
go.
this thing going. But yeah, no, those videos. I've never met a breeder that didn't mention those videos helping them in the beginning.
Yeah.
So
But he's not getting carved into a rock for me.
you gotta put him up there, man.
Anyways,
Anybody who doesn't come on the podcast will never go on my Mount Rushmore. So when I get asked the question one day, Ron, if you're listening, man, we love you, buddy. Say yes. Come on, man. Let's hang out. 1 hour.
Don't do it. These
Go
guys
away.
would keep their sleeves off.
after today, I'm not gonna do it anymore either. I'm over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But but that's cool that you don't have to like everybody to not learn from them. You know what I mean? So that's still cool.
Yeah, and like, dude, there's never gonna be a moment where just because like there's certain things that like you do that I don't agree with that I'm gonna treat you any different or like not be cool with you or like give you a base respect, you know? Like I'm never gonna be like shitty to you because like, did you look at that animal a certain way? Did you touch those terry cloths? You know?
Yeah. It's funny. I just put that up on screen. That was a good memory. When we first started the show, I was still nervous as hell all the time. And then this guy, Greg Reynolds, goes and says that. And I don't think he was thinking, but as soon as he said it, I took like a breath in And I had the breath. I was like, I'm good. I'm not going to smirk. I'm not going to smile. I got this. And then Steven goes, Joe, stop. And I lost it. That was a good minute. Sorry. I interrupted with my stuff.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know.
All right,
so
folks.
you don't have a fourth one to put up there, or is it just the last one?
That was 4, dude. He's not building it, so I told them to put it on there anyway.
I got you.
Wait,
Told
I
the
would be
people.
building it. It's my Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're like technically not like they're building
Oh,
it.
I'm disabled. I'm disabled. Just say it.
Yeah. So the worker team, I'm gonna just tell them do it anyway.
I'm about to fire your ass, Reese. You can't be talking about that right now, bro. What the hell?
Why? Because you're Mexican?
It's-
Just kidding, dude.
Settle
You can't-
down, Dean.
You can't say that. You're just Puerto Rican. You can't do that.
Puerto Rican and Mexican.
Puerto Rican.
But yeah.
Beard
So
of Rushmore.
you don't have a fourth one. I just wanted to say if you have like an application, whatever, I'll fill it out. You can put me up there. Maybe wait
Well,
5
I mean,
years
I
and put me up
told
there.
you. I was glazing you when you gave me a phone call and took
Whoa.
2 hours of my energy away. I was like,
Whoa.
yeah, Joe. I mean,
Damn,
like
bro.
the things you've done with this podcast and like the things you will continue to do in the future, and like bringing on Mr. Riys, Mr. N, Mr. N. This dude, like Riys, is kicking it off as your co-host, and like really great questions, getting a lot of these people to like spill all their beans, have really good like dialogue and good information out there. And sometimes you guys have to use AI to know what you're talking about, but like that's okay. That's okay. I don't know. This was what's missing, and like what I would like to see next is like that roundtable stuff we were talking about too. You know,
That
is like where we can talk about these like differing opinions and
Yeah.
like maybe even like have a set standard to where we like, hey, I don't agree, like that shouldn't be called a line, or like to be called a line it must hit this and this criteria, have been worked on for this long, or something like that too. So where I feel like a majority of all the infighting stems from a lot of that stuff where they're like, I don't think you deserve that, or like differing opinions, where we can come on a show like this where we have like two individuals without sleeves talking about like how much we love this, and like we could put our heads together instead of like bashing them in a little bit where it's super unnecessary to do.
Yeah.
It's called being a grown up.
Yes, sir.
Oh, no. I've seen this man upside down more times than I can count.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I remember teasing Reese in the beginning. Like some people would talk this and say that or whatever, and then it would be like just normal conversation. He'd be like, "Yeah, this happened. I unfollowed that guy," and I'm like, "Unfollowed? What if they're a future customer?" Or like you stop being mad in 12 hours, and he's just like, "Nah, man, I unfollowed that
That's
guy."
not how I work, dude. I'm Puerto
I'm
Rican
like,
and
you
Aries.
focused on
anger
finding
state.
him on Instagram to unfollow. I would never do that.
No, but see,
I could
unfollow.
royally piss somebody off, and I would like unfollow him and then follow him again like 7 times just so they got all the
No,
notifications.
see, I'm out of sight, out of mind. If that's
Nah, man.
just keep
So,
it
yeah,
moving.
no, I get it. I'm just like me.
Keep it
I'm
moving.
not gonna unfollow nobody. It's
You do it too, dude. I
there's
don't know why
one.
you bragging like
I
you
won't
don't.
talk about him, but there's one.
Glazer.
Yeah, he's
Glazer.
unfollowed a couple people. Don't let him fool you.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying is like, dude, I've never been like a breeder who's like after everybody's money. Like I could care less about that. Like for me, I want to like spend my time like enjoying everything, and like things that don't benefit you, I don't think you should keep them around. Like if you're trying to like save face or anything like that too, like you deserve that like peace of mind and like that grace to give yourself to like just enjoy stuff too. So like, bro, I've had Frank blocked for so long because that dude will try to mention me anytime he gets a chance, and like we know about the guy, you know? And so like there's not many people that I'll block, but like I'll unfollow them. Like I don't want to see that stuff like on my feed or something, like giving it my time of day.
Exactly. That's how it's just out of sight, out of mind. There's no point in fighting with them. It's just keep it moving. It's we
And
go
if
our
you ever
separate
like
ways.
talk to me and like in person, you like we grow as individuals. If we ever like grow back and like I'm like, oh shit, you're cool. Like I'm never gonna be like not gonna follow you because we had this disagreement in 2004.
See, but especially I feel different about it too because not like me and Joe, we got a good friendship I've built with him in this, but a lot of these people are just people that we've known on the internet just because we do the same thing. Once you take away that mutual hobby, two strangers on the internet that could care less about each other. You know what I mean? So I try not to do all that, but that's also why I just don't follow. It's just like,
Good.
cool. I just take myself out of the equation and
Yeah.
go keep living my life like you're supposed to. So
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
need.
No. To me, the way I see it is this: small community, not very many people who like this the way I do, but there are a group of people, maybe a couple hundred people in the world that love these things as much as me, and that's when I can sit here and literally obsess about photos, and they're right over there, but like I don't want to stress them out, so I'm sitting there looking at pictures I took or whatever, and to know that there's like only a couple people really that share that same passion, I just don't understand it, but that's just me. You do make a good point, but there's not very many people who think like me in this aspect, and
No, for sure.
couple of hundred even isn't that many,
But
in
I would
perspective.
rather us reach new people and help educate them into liking what we like
Yeah,
in
indoctrinate them.
a better way versus fighting people that like the same
Yeah,
thing I like, and so we have to be forced to be friends because we're in a small community. No, we just branch out and bring more people into the community and grow
yeah,
it that way. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
there's
believe
always
it
two.
or
or
not.
both, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, there's always two sides, so we can do
Yeah.
both. That's why we're here.
I
Do
was
whatever we
this
want,
cool before I had followers.
right?
You were this cool before that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because honestly, like probably like 30,000 of those guys are like from India. It's just
yeah,
what comes like with being like viral videos, viral sensation. Like I don't know, a lot of people will see that and like let it get to their heads or something too. It's like
yeah.
I'm not better than you. Like I'm just some dude who likes selling geckos, and then most of the time, like you reach out to me, want one of my geckos, I'm like giving you discounts because I think you're cool, and like I'm like, wait, shouldn't I
That checks
be
out.
not
Yeah,
doing this? I'm like piece
Yeah.
of shit. I was like, I have no
Yep.
income. What's going on?
yeah, right.
Yep. No, I did. I reached out. I remember reaching out to you just recently. I was like, "Hey, go ahead and write this one up for me. I definitely want it." Cool. Let me discount it. I'm like, I didn't ask you to do that, but
It's a
thank
senior
you.
discount,
But
dude.
definitely thank
That's
you.
all.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. It was like a feel bad thing. I had a full head of hair, man. Do you have that, Bubba? So maybe you
Well, I
shouldn't have
didn't know
discounted.
because yeah,
Could have-
mine's all like curly.
Oh dang, you got that Dark Thomas hair,
He's
bro. That's
got volume.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I started wearing a hat because everybody was like Thomas, and I'm like, no.
Thomas. Dang. I really hope he sees this part. That'd be so good. Um, all right, guys. So we're pushing the two
all right,
hour
guys.
mark. Bubba, thank you,
Get
man.
it
I appreciate you for coming on here. I hope to have you back. If you got some energy in the next, couple of weeks or even days, I'm putting together some content for my other podcast that I do. It's a lot shorter than this. Heidi called it a rocket topic podcast. I like that. That's actually pretty funny.
Yeah,
I should have you on, and you can do a couple of teaching moments with me, man.
Yeah, of course. And then stay tuned, guys, too, because Rice's brother is going to be on next week too, talking about crested geckos. A
Yes,
little bit cooler though. He rocks freaking eyeliner. You guys are going to love it. I
I
feel
knew
like
where you were
Reese
going.
pick his ass
bruh,
up.
Eyeliner.
bruh. He doesn't. I've actually hit him up about that. I said, "Hey, bro, no offense. People
Yeah,
do it. Are you wearing eyeliner?" He's like, "No, bro. I just naturally have beautiful eyelashes." And I was like, "All
yeah.
right,
Hey,
okay.
that's not
That's fake
eyelashes. I'm
news.
not saying eyelashes. It's just like
It's
fake them.
eyeliner to me too." Yeah,
Is
yeah.
You
anybody
should put eyeliner on and see what it
is
looks like.
anybody else of the opinion that because Reese found this guy, right? And they're
He's
both
a
in
plant.
Georgia. They're both in Georgia. So I'm wondering, like, how many people in the comments want to say like that's Reese and he put eyeliner on, and
It's
like
Reese's other room. It's all crested
yeah, he wears a
geckos.
hat, so we don't know what the hair looks like underneath the hat, So I think it is Reese, and he just puts the eyeliner on, and then he has a room with crested geckos and
Sure, sure.
lots and lots of money.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, he's actually dropping
Just
on
like I look
what,
like
Tuesday?
you, dude. Yeah, just like
Tuesday,
Tuesday.
I look like you. You're like my long lost uncle. So
like me, dude. I'm handsome as shit. What do you mean?
yeah, yeah,
So,
sure.
um,
But yeah, he
yeah,
should be out next Tuesday after my birthday. He's gonna launch, and
yeah, DA
yeah,
Cresties.
that's the homie GA Cresteds. We both started breeding Cresteds at the same time. That's how we met, and yeah, and then I just went with the Leos more.
Yep.
Wait, I feel like I was gonna. I told Big Mike I was gonna say something to him. Big
Oh,
Mike, I know you're watching this. Everybody wants a Malawi box, and you're doing great things. And I don't know what you're talking about the other day about being wet, but that was a little weird. We love you. And John, we appreciate you for coming on here. You're a real one.
John will be back. Actually, so he'll be back on with us. That's gonna be dope.
That's a nice box.
It's got some really neat blue stuff in
Is
it.
that your pom poms, bro? That's where you keep your pom poms.
Yeah.
Bro, I got these in Pomona last year.
Northern Herper.
Pom
From
poms
Canada.
in Pomona. Pomona palms.
It's kind of a cool little touch, man. You know, everybody's got their thing they do, and this is, not a bad one.
A Mick marketing.
The Northern
I'm not gonna
Herper
lie. It
Day,
looks
great
like you ordered
episode.
like a lotion set or something, and then it's a gecko. So
I
Or
actually,
maybe some of his other beauty products.
I'm gonna get on the phone with Bubba here soon because I have like a ton of everybody's stickers, and now that I'm in my room, first thing I'm gonna do is paint, and then I want to put them somewhere on something where I know they'll be there forever. So I'm gonna call Bubba and get some ideas because I know you'll have some.
Yeah, I had you should have told me like last week. I had the crazy like samurai one that's like this big from.
I have one. I
I
bought
have
it.
one. Yeah, I'm waiting to put it up.
I have two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yep. I need like a sticker wall or something that I
love
could
that.
take it apart
What
and
do
take
you
it
have
with me.
incubators for, dude?
So, yeah, but I'm building a different one, so I probably won't even have these that much longer.
What?
So,
You better save one. I'm coming to buy one of those off you then.
yeah, I'll put it aside.
Bro, his one incubator I'll be set for life. I could fit my whole body in there.
This is that episode. I knew it was going to happen with Bubba too, where we said goodbye like 4 times, but it's all
Yeah.
good.
You're trying to get rid of me, but it's too good.
Yeah, it's too good. He's
Nah,
got
I
no
do gotta put my
sleeves.
kid to bed. She's upstairs by herself. So
Yeah,
You don't even have no kids.
that checks out.
no, that doesn't.
That's the other Riys with the eyeliner.
He's mentioned her. I've never seen her, so I think
Bull snap.
gotta have the out. So made up the kid. I need a graffiti wall, Riys, and then I'll do stickers on that wall. That'd be a
Oh,
good
Said he's
cover up
gonna
my
get
work.
a
Yeah.
mural of you on his Airstream.
Put a mural on here and then we'll cover it with other people's stuff.
I like a little. What were we saying earlier, Bubba? A little baby, like a naked baby, and Reese's face on it. You know, just like looking up
Bro,
at you.
no, they used to call me boss baby when I did the pharmaceutical job.
He said last week they called me that.
Yeah, you should hear what we call you now. It's
Yeah, I'm over it. I don't want you calling me anymore or Ron
right
Trump.
after the Ron thing. I publicly want to apologize to you for that.
You could probably hop on your other account and then be like, Ron's gonna be like, "Who's Nathan?
Who's Nathan?"
You had to do it, huh? Had to drop it on here. Just slight.
Wait, nobody knows what we're talking about. Nobody knows what
Well, they do now, but cool. Good
Yeah,
job.
don't tell people his name is Nathan, bro.
Oh, thank you for Joe. Thank you, bro.
His name is Reese, and it's
Thank you.
misspelled.
Yeah.
So
It's not misspelled. It's with some sazon on it. All right, little flavor for you.
my daughter actually every time I'm on the phone with Reese, she'll come in and yell, "Reese Evelyn Lopez," and like.
Yeah, I don't know if you had to say Evelyn. That's a little bit much.
I don't even know where that came from, bro. She just
name,
be
bro.
calling me that.
I don't want to go, but we gotta go.
Punch.
We gotta end broadcast, guys.
Yeah, I
This
don't hate
was
you.
fun.
Yeah.
The end was kind of fun too, but
It was
obviously,
kind of fun.
Yeah,
Better
it's
have
been
fun, dude.
power hours now coming up. Should we stretch it 7 more minutes and then it's
No.
2 hours in the books or what?
I will holler at y'all later.
Probably again.
Yeah. So you taking off, Reese, and then Bubba. I would love to have you on again if you got some energy for us, brother. Get back with me.
Brother,
Everybody that showed up in the
Do it
comments and
live
hung
with
out
my
the entire time, I want to say thank you. Make sure that you go down and look at the links I picked up of Bubba's stuff. He's got some stuff on Morph Market. Follow him on Morph Market. Follow him on Instagram. You probably already are. And
Not accepting any new followers. Making everything private.
right after I said that. Thanks, Bubba.
Deleting
no
Morph
new
Market.
friends. No new friends. No new.
And if you have anything in the comments, let me know. Just comment them down below. They hit my email, and I'll ask Bubba directly. So
Surfboard.
I want to let you do your thing. All right, guys.
You were supposed to end it. That was like the perfect
Yeah.
moment, and now
We'll
it's
see
just
you
weird.
guys. I'll do it again.
Terry Cloth. Oh,